Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another marvelous video where today we will unravel the powers behind some of Ultraman's greatest enemies. As Netflix has released the trailer for their upcoming CG animated movie, Ultraman Rising, the hype surrounding Ultraman is growing day by day. Fans are in a frenzy, as this latest addition to the Ultraman saga is a historic collaboration between the legendary Industrial Light and Magic and Tsuburaya Productions, which promises to take the classic hero to new heights. With all of this excitement, we decided to take a look at the 18 most powerful monsters, or Kaiju as they are known, from Ultraman. So get ready folks, this is going to be one heck of a ride. Welcome to Marvelous Video's 18 most powerful Ultraman Kaiju monsters. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Zeton. First up on the list, we have an OG Kaiju who made his first appearance in the finale of the original Ultraman series. Yes, it is none other than the beetle-like kaiju, Zeton. A biological weapon of the Zeton species of aliens, Zeton was an invasion monster that is considered to be the most powerful of every kaiju that appeared in the original Ultraman series. The kaiju resembles a beetle with limbs popping out of this really thick and black-colored shell. Now let me tell you, this guy's power levels are off the charts. It comes as no surprise that he got the title of the most powerful in the OG series. He has even defeated Ultraman, which is a feat in itself. He left the hero dying on the surface of the Earth, and he would have died if Zafi, Ultraman's superior, had not shown up and saved him from death's door. But even though he was the strongest in the series, he was defeated by an anti-gravity missile that was a new invention by the Science Patrol. The strongest kaiju is now left in the past, as more powerful kaiju have made their appearances in the series. But Zeton has made more appearances in later series, such as Return of Ultraman, the Ultraman Mabius, and Ultraman the Ultimate Hero, in more powerful forms. His different forms, like Hyper, Fire, Mutant, Clone, Zet, and Warrior, have all the powers and skills that make him a difficult opponent to face. His Generation 1 normal form stood at a whopping 60 meters tall, with super strength and enhanced agility. His powers and abilities included moves such as Zeton Final Beam, which is one of Zeton's signature techniques, as well as one of his strongest attacks, the Zeton Breaker, the 1 trillion degrees Fireball, the Zeton Barrier, the Zeton Star Shells, and the more mundane powers such as teleportation, energy laser, and flight. With an arsenal like that, Zeton is definitely worthy of a spot on our list. Bogle. Next up, we have a predator among us, a dangerous kaiju that feasts upon other kaiju and monsters. Let me introduce you to Bogle, a violent species that thrives on chaos so much that one member of the species was responsible for the destruction of planet Arb, the home planet of the crystalline aliens known as the Arbs. Other members of the species, who are called Lesser Bogles, were the ones who paved the way for the Emperor's descent to Earth. Now, you might be wondering who the Emperor is. Well, the Emperor is the main antagonist of the show, Ultraman Mabius. The protagonist of the show shares the same name as the show title and is the one responsible for wiping out the Bogles. Talking about the physical appearance of the Bogles, it is scary to the point that it will give Chucky nightmares for weeks. The Bogle made an appearance in episodes 6 to 9 of the series and disguised herself as a woman. She summoned monsters to aid her in the destruction of Earth, but she started to eat those kaiju in order to create a huge explosion. The Bogle in the series had two forms, a human and a kaiju version. The human form's appearance was that of a woman in a white jacket who possessed superhuman strength along with the ability to move at high speeds. The Bogle could also create portals to travel with ease. That is a power that is worth being jealous of. The Bogle can fire energy blasts from her hand and levitate objects with her mind. Moving on to the kaiju form, the Bogle, just like its human form, can shoot bursts of purple energy out of her hands or back. Her jaws can grow to such a size that they could eat a monster or Ultra, and her body temperature will rise if she consumes a monster. This heat will result in a huge explosion if she is destroyed. Bogle has strong enough psychic abilities to repel or lift heavy objects and is capable of vanishing at any time. Bogle also has the ability to shed her skin in order to flee quickly and to change into a Boglemon once it has used enough electricity. The Bogle is a true predator who has proved why she should be on this list. King Joe. Now it is time to meet the kaiju named after Tetsuo Kinjo, who is the head writer for the early episodes of the Ultraman series. It is King Joe, the alien robot made by the alien species known as Alien Pandon, who made an appearance for the first time in the television series Ultra 7 in the form of 4 ships. King Joe is one of the most famous robots from the Ultraman series, and has made several appearances in the later Ultraman series. He was dispatched by the Alien Pandon to take over the planet and was their primary gun in their plan to conquer Earth. Similar to how other kaiju make an appearance, King Joe, in his 4 ships form, starts to attack a submarine and the military, and arrives at a UN assembly where he assembles into his true form. King Joe's ability to separate and his sturdy armor made him a difficult opponent to face, but the heroes were always victorious in the end. King Joe, in his normal original form, had a height of 55 meters and had enough arm strength to lift a battleship weighing 100,000 tons. King Joe had various other iterations over the years, which include a King Joe Black form, Scarlet, New, Plasma, Cyber, Perfect, Custom, and Max versions. His powers and abilities in the OG form included a Dest Ray, or, as it is otherwise known as, Eldritch Shoten. With this ability, he is able to fire 2 electrical bolts from his eyes that can combine into one. Moving on to his armor, King Joe's body consists of metal that is known as Pandanium, which is an alloy often seen in the hands of the alien Pandon. The metal is like adamantium, which is to say, very strong and durable. To add to his defensive skills, he also has the Pandanium Shutter, which is the energy shield that King Joe surrounds his body with. All in all, he is a powerhouse of an opponent to be in a battle with. Gamora. A kaiju that has lasted more than a fight against Ultraman, we are going to meet Gamora, the dinosaur-like monster with a complicated role to fulfill. A villainous monster that had the rare chance of being the hero in a spin-off series that was devoid of Ultraman, which was called Ultra Galaxy, as one of the good kaiju under the Master Monster Tamer Ray. Due to this, certain versions of the alien species have appeared as allies to the heroes of different series. The first kaiju that fought with Ultraman to a draw, Gamora made his first appearance in the 26th episode of the original Ultraman series. Now, there have been multiple versions of the monster over the years, such as Super, Powered, EX, Rayonic Burst, Kaiju Busters, Earth, Cyber, Sphere, and Magma. The Generation 1 normal version of Gamora has a bunch of cool powers and abilities, which include Ultra Oscillation Wave, a megaton tail, and super strength. One version of Gamora could even shoot pink-colored fireballs from his horn. Now, that is an epic power. I mean, it is fireballs, although the color of the fireballs is something that is not seen much of. This shows that Gamora is a powerful kaiju on this list who should not be taken lightly, with his unique fighting style of tearing a monster's guts with his jagged horn and shooting his energy beam directly into the wound. Beludra. Drumroll, please. We have a real mishmash of monsters coming up. It is none other than Beludra, a giant chimera-like monster that made an appearance in the mega monster battle Ultra Galaxy Legends the movie. Beludra consisted of numerous kaiju and aliens that had battled the Ultras over the course of history. This single combined entity was under the control of Ultraman Belial. This monstrosity had a staggering height of 4,000 meters, and his weight was immeasurable. Hailing from the monster graveyard, this vicious monster's arsenal includes skills like the Beludra Inferno, in which the numerous monsters that consists of Beludra's body can use their eyes to fire powerful yellow-colored lasers. Each monster can fire this individually, or Belial can command them to fire all at once. There is also the Gigant Fist, in which Beludra launches its own fist at the enemy, and Beludra Deathbuster, in which the monster fires an energy beam from the forehead. So what was Beludra's role in the movie? Well, Ultraman Belial's plan was to use Beludra as his trump card to stop the Ultras from taking the plasma spark back to the Land of Light. Beludra was virtually unstoppable for the Ultramen and the other crew members, and it would have marked the end for the Ultramen if they did not go for a combo attack which combined their special attacks on Belial, who was the brain of this monster. With the brain wounded, the monster was soon out of commission as the kaiju exploded into bits. The battle was a marvelous display of power that Beludra wielded, but the power was not enough to take out the Ultramen. Tyrant. We have another chimera coming up on the list. It is arguably the most popular chimera to debut in the series. It is the dangerous Tyrant, the chimera monster that was born out of the spirits of destroyed enemies of the Ultra Brothers. So, the Tyrant first made his debut in the show Ultraman Taro. After getting his fill of beating up Ultramen on different planets, like Ultraman on Uranus, Seven on Saturn, Ace on Mars, and Jack on Jupiter, the Tyrant made his way to Earth to unleash chaos across Japan. After an intense battle with Zat, the Tyrant was taken down by Taro. The righteous hero triumphed over the combined might of the fallen foes of the Ultra Brothers. The threat of the Tyrant was no more in the original series, but the danger continued as the popularity of the character soared, and the Tyrant made further appearances in future series in forms like EX, Plasma, Cyber, and even a Belial Tyrant form. In his first form, Tyrant is extremely powerful, with abilities such as High Endurance, Death Fire, Suction Attractor Spout, Freezing Gas, Right Axe Hand, Despotic Hammer, Baraba Whip, Violence Tail, Ultrasine Eraser Beam, Flight, and Arrow Ray. This chimera definitely holds a grudge against our heroes, and he has the power to act on it too. Gannoor, a great darkness, is coming up next on our list. Described by Yuzari as the Great Darkness, it is time to meet the last villain of the Ultraman Tiga series. This powerful kaiju is known as the Ruler of Shadows and was responsible for the complete annihilation of humans during the ancient times. Gannoor and followers went into an ancient city to hibernate. Fast forward to modern times. Gannoor and his minions are back to guide the world back into the darkness over which they ruled. But they had an unexpected obstacle to overcome. The Warrior of Light, Ultraman Tiga, stood in Gannoor's path of destruction and chaos. Their battle was really intense, and Gannoor pulled a page out of Medusa's book from Greek mythology and used a beam to turn Ultraman Tiga into stone and knocked the stone statue into the ocean. Gannoor had no more opponents to stop him, or so he thought, but the humans banded together to oppose him. This unity, fueled by hope, resulted in the revival of the Warrior of Light, Ultraman Tiga, more powerful than ever before, and ready to shine light upon the so-called Great Darkness. The battle that followed resulted in the obliviation of Gannoor and the survival of humans. Gannoor has two forms. These are the Cyber and Maga. In his original form, Gannoor's abilities include Petrification Ray, tentacles located around his head that can be used as weapons or to trap enemies, pincers on the end of his 4 longest tentacles that are really useful in melee combat, Shadow Mist can cause never-ending darkness, and a protective shell that can defend against most attacks. Guan. Let us go prehistoric for the next kaiju on our list. It is time to meet a kaiju that is so ancient that it makes a mummy look like it is having a sweet 16. This old monster, known as Guan, made its debut in episodes 5 and 6 of the show Return of Ultraman, and is a natural hunter of the Twin Tails species and emerged from the ground as Matt found a Twin Tails egg. Even you would be cranky if someone tried to take away your breakfast, right? Well, the crew attacked the beast that had whips for arms and recognized the monster as the long-extinct kaiju. Guan retreated and reappeared after the twin tail hatched. Both the kaiju fought against Ultraman Jack, who could not handle battling 2 titanic kaiju at the same time, and chose the smart option of retreating. The damage that the 2 kaiju brought because of their battle was so astronomical that the government decided to nuke the beast, but Matt decided to try an attack for one last time to prevent unnecessary loss of life. So the cunning MAT and Ultraman decided to let the 2 monsters fight amongst themselves. After the twin tails went down from the attacks of Guan with a little assistance from the humans, Ultraman Jack went on the offensive against Guan and defeated the terrifying monster with ease. So what powers does this deadly creature possess? Guan has a really thick hide that can neutralize a major portion of the attacks, and something called the Oscillatory Tentacle Excavator, which is basically a fancy name for the whips that he has for arms. Compared to the rest of the kaiju on this list, Guan has a lesser number of versions. He only has a cyber version, which appeared in the card set Cyber Cards. Vakisham. We have a monster from the show Ultraman Ace on our list next. The amalgamation of a caterpillar and monster from space, this terrible monster was created by Yapul as a disguise for himself, but in later installations of the Ultraman series, the monster appears as a single entity who sometimes accompanies his master. In the Ultraman Ace show, Yapul uses the form of Vakisham to launch an attack on Earth. The first part of his master plan to take over the Earth was to threaten the woman who is the co-pilot of Ultraman Ace, Minami. Vakisham then destroys an aircraft and proceeds to hide by impersonating a boy. It was definitely a weird move to disappear like that, but who knows? Maybe the creators of the show wanted to show how cruel the monster is, as demonstrated by the fire he started in the boy's village. As Vakisham, he has 2 forms, the normal one and the Kugutsu form. He also had a form known as Vaximum. Vakisham's powers in his normal form of 65 meters of height include Vulcan Fire, which enables him to launch lasers from his hands and fire missiles from his nose, Flame Radiation that can emit dual streams of 70,000 degrees Celsius fire from both his hands, Angular Missile, which launches the horn on his head, Interdimensional Travel, disguise himself as humans, and extraordinary jumping abilities. Black King. Now it is time to meet the kaiju that made his first appearance in the show Return of Ultraman. The bodyguard of Alien Knuckle, the monster made appearances in episodes 37 and 38. In the show Return of Ultraman, the defeat of Sigurath and Bemstar caused the Alien Knuckle to dispatch the Black King as a distraction. The Black King served wonderfully as bait, as MAT could not injure the beast, and this allowed Alien Knuckle to operate without any trouble. They dealt huge emotional blows to Ultraman Jack by killing his human host's girlfriend and best friends. The blows affected Ultraman Jack, and the Black King started to overwhelm him. The arrival of Alien Knuckle into the battle guaranteed Ultraman Jack's defeat. The fallen hero was transported for execution to Planet Knuckle, but the interference of the original Ultraman and the Ultra 7 resulted in Ultraman Jack surviving. Another battle took place on Earth, and while the kaiju had the upper hand in the initial phases of the fight, Ultraman Jack fought intensely and took out the Black King by decapitating him. The Black King has 5 distinct forms, which are Gold, Cyber, Saga, Normal, and Normal with drill attachments. For now, let us take a look at the powers of his normal original form. The abilities start with Hell Magma, or as it is otherwise known as Lava Heat Ray, which is a power that the Black King can use to emit a thin heat ray from his mouth. Black King can breathe out a white gas from his mouth that can blind his opponents. Similar to a ninja's smokescreen, the monster uses this technique as a means of escape. The creature also has the ability to burrow under the ground, and this is his method of traveling. Also, due to the research conducted by Alien Knuckle on Ultraman Jack, the Black King has an armored hide which protects his body from almost anything. Grand King. It is a grand entrance for our next entry on the list. It is the cyborg kaiju Grand King, who made his debut as the secondary villain in Ultraman's story. While the first Grand King is a chimera robot infused by the souls of various foes that the Ultras have faced in the past, there are a number of totally different Grand King forms that seem to be completely new, as compared to combinations like the original. The original Grand King was an amalgamation of the souls of Alien Balton, Red King, Gamora, Alien Mephilos, King, and Alien Hipporito. This abomination, which was created by Judah, took on Ultraman, Seven, Jack, Ace, and Zophy, and an intense battle began. The Grand King was on a whole other level compared to the Ultra Brothers, and was wiping the floor with them until the order from Father of Ultra arrived. The Ultra Brothers fused with Taro according to the order, and the Grand King was finally defeated by him due to the power boost he received. The Grand King has had multiple forms over the years, such as Super, Fire, Maga, and Megalith. Now it is time to see what kind of powers the original form of Grand King has. Powerful red-colored lasers made out of energy can be fired from his mouth, nose, and tail. This skill of the Grand King is known as Grand Laser. He can also launch incendiary bullets from his left claw, which is known as the Grand Crash. The Grand King also has some mega armor that can take huge damage, which makes him extremely durable. His defensive capability is increased by the shield of energy he can create to protect himself. Grand King has a pellet on his arm that can catch Ultra 7's Eye Slugger. Alien Emperor. We have royalty in the house now, folks. The kaiju known as the Lord of Darkness, or his much humbler name, the Emperor, is the primary villain of the Ultraman Mebius show. The ruler of the Emperor army and the commander of the Dark Four Heavenly Kings, Alien Emperor became one with the darkness as he became the only survivor of his species. One of the most powerful characters to exist in the Ultraman universe, Alien Emperor has been involved in some of the most memorable battles of the Ultramen, like the Ultimate Wars, which he was the cause of. Alien Emperor's arsenal has skills such as Dark Fireball, Risolium Ray, which is his strongest attack, Red Shockwave, Darkness Manipulation, Reflector Mantle, Armor, which is strong enough to withstand Ultra Beams, Darkness Sphere, Ghost Rebirth, Emperor Blade, Energy Slash, Armored Darkness, which was his sentient armor, and several mental abilities like telekinesis and telepathy. Maga Orochi. Let us take a look at the kaiju that hails from the monster galaxy, Maga Orochi, who first appeared in Ultraman Orb. So who is Maga Orochi? Well, he can best be described as a huge beast with an even huger appetite with a taste for stars. He left a path of destruction across the universe until he was put to sleep by Zophy. In the present time, Jugless Juggler uses Ultraman Belial's Ultra Fusion card along with the 6 Kaiju cards of the other Lord monsters to awaken him. The Maga Orochi was supposedly killed by the Thunder Breath Star form of Ultraman Orb, but in reality, his spirit traveled into the crust of the earth where he was matured into his adult form, which is known as Magatano Orochi. This is the form which is considered as the most powerful kaiju that has appeared in the series. Maga Orochi has abilities like Maga Thunderclap, high durability, body lightning, self-healing, strengths, spikes, and life force transferring. Maga Orochi also has the ability to burrow quite deep beneath the surface. After finishing, it absorbs the energy of the planet and rests as the Maga Soul, which is in the form of an egg. Edgar, a demon-like alien who is the companion of Arena and the actual villain of Ultraman Ginga S the movie Showdown the 10 Ultra Warriors. In the past, Edgar attacked the planet of Zant and kidnapped Arena. He removed her memories of him destroying the planet and made her believe that Ultraman Ginga was the planet's destroyer. Arena and Edgar then traveled numerous dimensions and started capturing the Heisei Ultras. He fought against Ultraman Ginga and Ultraman Victory, which almost ended in the Ultras being sealed. But Ultraman Zero came looking for the monster to continue their fight from before. It was a long and tiring battle before the Ultras were free. But they had to fight through an army of clones before finally being able to kill Edgar above the earth. Other than his normal form, Edgar also has a cyber form. Edgar's normal form abilities include memory manipulation, a dimensional castle that is capable of traveling between dimensions and firing energy blasts, golden armor, Edel Inferno, Super Strength, Transportation, Energy Shield, Fear Ray, Fear Blasts, Edel Dummy Creation, which is basically an army of clones, Flight, and Removal Blast. Birdon. Let us now take a look at the kaiju that looks like a bird. Birdon made his appearance in episode 17 of Ultraman Taro. Birdon shares the honor of being one of the most popular monsters from Ultraman Taro, along with the Tyrant, whom we have already met. So why was Birdon so popular, you ask? Well, other than the great powers he possesses, the fact that he defeated and killed Ultraman Taro and Zafi cemented his position as one of the strongest kaiju. The prehistoric bird was sealed in a volcano for a long period of time before he awakened due to a volcanic eruption. Birdon showed off his cruel and predatory instincts in recognizing the threat of Ultraman Taro and killing him by pecking him all over his body. Birdon's forms include Normal, Kaiju Busters, Saga, Cyber, and Kugutsu. His normal form has powers and skills such as Flight, Heat Immunity, Volionic Fire, Shark Nose, and Birdon Typhoon. Pandon. Next, we are going to meet another bird-like kaiju. Pandon is a kaiju with 2 heads that is bird-based who made his debut in the show Ultra 7. He appeared as the advance guard for alien ghosts in the last 2 episodes of the series, which put him in the spotlight. Pandon's fight with the Ultra Guard was a crazy battle, with Ultra Guard being almost crushed to death by the monster. But the Ultra Guard was saved by the actions of Ultra 7, who came in the nick of time and turned the tides of battle. Pandon's original form has powers like twin-headed flame radiation, flaming hell, which he uses to set the area around him on fire, and high heat flame bullets, while his juvenile form has levitation, flame radiation, and growth, in which he grows an extra head if he is exposed to the ghost ore. Pandon also has forms such as Neo, King, Cyber, and Maga. Zogu. Zogu, or as she is otherwise known as Zog, is the last enemy of the television show Ultraman Gaia. The radical destruction bringer sent her to take down the two Ultramen, Ultraman Gaia and Ultraman Agul, and to destroy the spirit of mankind so that they could have a nice and easy win. She debuted in episodes 49 through 51. The first form of Zog had an impressive array of skills that include Wormhole, Sky Beams, Energy Restore, Hypnotism, Telekinesis, Vicious Shockwave Ball, Teleportation, Electric Lasers, Energy Absorb, and I-Beams. The second form of Zog has basically the same skills as her first form, with the added skill of Pain Resistance. Bemular. It is time to meet a merciless alien monster that looks like a lizard and has somehow escaped from the monster graveyard. When Ultraman encountered him on Earth, he was destroyed. The first monster the classic Ultraman ever battled on screen, a hefty Godzilla-like creature with tiny T-Rex arms and asymmetrical eyes that make him look absolutely crazy. Bemular made the perfect sense to be the enemy kaiju that Ultraman would begin his career by taking out, considering the legacy of the kaiju series. Bemular escaped the monster graveyard, but had Ultraman chasing him all over the universe. So he decided to hide in a lake on Earth until he was forced into a fight by the Space Patrol. An intense battle took place, with Ultraman eventually defeating the monstrous creature before he made another escape. Bemular's normal form attacks are Spherical Change, Pale Heat Wave, which is also referred to as Blue Heat Ray, and Monster Attack, which is rapid-fire blasts of high explosive energy. Marvelous verdict. And that marks the end of another marvelous video. It's been fun taking a walk down memory lane, revisiting iconic villains of our childhood, and even some newer foes that the great Ultraman has to face. As our thrilling adventure through the world of Ultraman's most powerful kaiju enemies draws to a close, we hope you have enjoyed the thrill of witnessing these colossal creatures in all their fearsome glory. So stay tuned for more electrifying adventures in the captivating world of Ultraman. Which kaiju among these did you like the most? Was there anything specific about them that captured your curiosity? Let us know all about it in the comments down below. And if you liked this video, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. It means the world to us when you help us grow. Until next time, guys, it is farewell, Ultraman. Have a good one.